Which, by the way, has so Dawson just drove down. So they had Roadrunners talking on it.
I just put your, I just added to it.
Hey, what's going on?
It really
Oh yeah, you're both in that, yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I think even he was the training yesterday. He was not. But he's thinking about, have you heard about the Islam stuff? They have been lax as of late. Well, I was like,
yeah, I don't do a lot of those things.
I would trust him. I can talk to you. It's clear off on this stuff. But yeah,
Paul's is doing it. This is just I just work for Paul, so I'm going to say it. You know, that's who's sponsoring this game, but they really independently push us to do our own kind of research and any kind of way we want. And I ended up networking with a couple guys at security conferences. So.
Yeah, I'll have to, because I've got it kind of, I've been building it. It's kind of my mind now. Security framework.
One of the business headquarters is
out here.
yeah,
They've got a bunch of guys.
portfolios have kind of personality. So the business enforcement is like very competitive.
That stuff's built right in.
So, then what I do is I tie it and start doing integrations, like radio station.
So you have radio, so you can do radio and TV. See, now that's something I've never.
The scope of.
See, there's just so much I. This is automation.
So this is just
your mind about it.
Some of the that's gonna matter.
Like I said, it's kind of a thing like Swannie on Facebook, and
It's not that you guys
actually using it at the same time.
really get into worry about. And in the end, today we've got a compelling need for it.
right.
We need it.
Okay, I got worried almost exactly. I didn't just have a
Which is, you know, usually not.
Yeah, what I heard was,
You don't have to get
every time I open my mouth,
which is different to say, well, one of these things is really like, be able to, once you just have all of this, and then somebody which is,
So the idea is, like this Pentest
kind of, there's,
the idea is to
there's absolutely
Pentest
go under, you know, this kind of stuff. And every time we go outside, to have some extra do it for us, they always say something. Every single time. So if you don't want to get kicked out of the club, you basically have to have it. We're used to it. So what we don't make have
Yeah. Editing F4V files. I'm interested to see how to do that. I need to cut off some of this blankness. It's been recording.
Great. Ben, you guys about 2 years back then, I was still a record box.
I really do. I mean, that's what we both talk about that. Our accounts it's out of the way. Oh, well, that's pretty close too. And you're going against bad traffic. You know, so you're going in the right direction at the right time. Yeah. And then you can always stop off. You know, just do some shit. You know, right along the rivers.
Pretty good.
Are you gonna press start? It has been recording. I was gonna cut out.
Okay. Okay.
10 minutes.
Okay. Editing.
Yeah. Speaking to the light.
I thought it was a mic for a few minutes here.
They took the mic away. I don't know where it went. And we have to pay for AV people.
Hey everybody. My name is Frank Catucci. I work for Qualys. My talk today is going to be a little bit about social media versus a little bit of social engineering. It's quite interesting that I follow Andrew in his talk because a lot of what he was talking about with geolocation, I'm going to also talk about geolocation. So I'm just going to approach it a little bit different way. I do work for Qualys, however, this talk has nothing to do whatsoever with Qualys. So if anyone is familiar or not familiar with any of our products, this won't help you or hurt you. We are very motivated to go out there and continue security research. Most of our employees are either developers, hackers, pen testers, etc. And so we are pushed kind of to go out and speak and do our own research. So yes, we're sponsoring this event. Yes, I do work with Qualis, however, this has nothing to do with it. But what does have to do with it is I'm giving away a Kindle Fire HD. If anyone wants to stop by the table I have set up out there with the maroon tablecloth, drop a business card or some information in there, because at the end of today I'll pull out a name and someone gets the lead of that, so stop on by there. At Qualis, I'm responsible for the Southeast Territory, primarily North Carolina, South Carolina, a little bit in Georgia, Tennessee, and one in Mississippi. Like I said, at Qualis, we have a variety of responsibilities. We're all hired to do a little bit of everything. So I do everything from account management to vulnerability scans to helping people set up. We don't offer a whole lot of professional services other than just to help the clients, but what we do is help them walk through setting up their products and things like that. So I basically help out with the web application scanning, assisting with the development of web application firewall system that we're rolling out, and I do have a lot of clients in the area in Charleston and throughout the Carolinas. My past experience is kind of just to give you some information, it's a little bit all over the place. I did a little bit of government work with some people in this room, a little bit of, actually a lot of consulting before that, network security, moved all the way down to help desk in the 90s. And it's pretty much where I got my start. Started with security in the financial sector for banking, credit union, and securities. Why I care? Why I care about security is more than just a hobby. It's really what I do day in and day out. Today's a Saturday. I'm not getting paid to be here, but I enjoy this kind of thing. So it's kind of an interest. Today I'm going to look at a couple different things. I'm going to start this off by saying that I hate PowerPoint. I'm not great at it. And I think it kind of sucks, to be honest with you, but there's really no better way to do it. So I'm going to throw some stuff up here and hopefully get a little bit of people to laugh a little bit, and maybe towards the end of it we can just have some discussions. But again, I'm going to follow up on using some of the same principles that Andrew gave in the talk before as far as using geolocation. And I also had some a great side conversation here with Evan not too long ago that just basically touched on using some geolocation as well. So it's definitely a hot area, in my opinion, that we'll be able to use going forward. First thing I want to talk about, though, is privacy. So privacy right now is something really difficult. Privacy for anybody. Is there such thing anymore? What is it? Why is it? The state or condition of being free and observed by other people, right? It's your own, it's who you are. It's what keeps you individual. Right? Is that your privacy? But you know, privacy means a lot of different things for a lot of different people, and that's probably where a lot of the difficulty in privacy comes from. If you ask what people with privacy is, everybody you ask pretty much who's not in the room listening or listening to your conversation will have a different answer. To me, I think it's who we are. It's how we act. It's the exact way we do things. I think privacy has a lot to do with not just anonymity, but also respect. And respect we have for other people, respect that we have for ourselves. It provides us with some individuality. It helps avoid some basically conforming to other people's ideas and group. If there's any, you know, MBAs or people in that kind of room, you've done plenty of research studies on groupthink and why it's bad and why it actually, you know, useful sometimes if you're looking to correlate the ideas behind that. But again, I'm not going to sit up here and preach, but I think it's a fabric. And privacy is important. It defines who we are, morally, professionally, and in some cases even spiritually. And with that, I'll move on to something else. All right, so all the three-letter agencies, right? Your NSA, CIA, DOD, FBI, etc. Are they watching you? Are they watching you in particular? Maybe, maybe not. But the answer is, are they watching? Yes. Yes, they're watching. Sure. But one thing to keep in mind, what are they taking from you? And what are you or people you know giving to them voluntarily? What are you offering up? What are you making publicly available that you don't know is publicly available? how can that stuff be exploited? It's not just the 3-letter agencies that are spying on you, it's everybody who wants to know something about you that can spy on you, that's going to evade your privacy. The ages of people that are posting things on the internet and online, all the controversy between Facebook, and Facebook should be limiting access to your teen's pictures. Well, you know what? No, they shouldn't. You should be limiting access to what your teen puts on there if you're responsible for it. Education and age. Young people don't really have a good concept of privacy. In my opinion, from any kind of research that I've done, the amount of sharing and things that goes on in open media formats is just ridiculous. I mean, everything from, FaceTiming somebody who you don't know walking down your stairs through your house, basically getting a tour of what you want, to posting up what you had for breakfast, to where you're going to school, where you're going to be at the mall, etc. Now, we can take all of this data that we have from all these sources, and it's not just the government that's going to be able to do it. It's every hacker, every pen tester, every researcher that's going to be able to put this stuff together. Every Joe off the street who just is curious can put this stuff together and assemble the puzzle. They can put all of these pieces together to get a huge amount of information. So you have guys like Snowden, right? He came out there and said, this is what we're doing. We're spying on everybody. We're spying on the government's foreign lands. We're spying on Spain. We're spying on France. We're spying on Germany, etc. That stuff's out there. And where's the uproar? Where's all the protest for this stuff? And in my opinion, the protest for this stuff is really, it's not really out there. Sure, you have some people out there who are upset about it. You have some people making light of it, and then you also have some people who don't really care. I have nothing to hide, so what's the difference, right? Well, that's one way to look at it. But again, during the time when that information first broke, we'll go to this cartoon here. It's one of my favorites, right? I don't know if anyone's ever seen it. It's a guy talking to his wife or girlfriend. Hey, I'm on my way home. What do you want to do when I get back? She says, you know what I want to do. I want to hear you say it. I want to hear you say it too. So there's all this information that other people are seeing and other people are hearing. Or what, here comes my question that I brought up before, right? What are we voluntarily disclosing? We're using all of these great tools up here, right? We're using Twitter, we're using Facebook, we're using LinkedIn. We have location services turned on. Having enlightened me a little bit to some of the Google world, what we're doing, what we're putting out there. So you really look at what we're disclosing, okay? You're signing up for things that are 100% free, right? How much do you pay for your Facebook? How much do you pay for your Gmail? How much do you pay for your Yahoo? How much do you pay for that stuff? You pay nothing. You don't pay anything to Instagram. You don't pay anything to anybody else, right? So you're getting services for free that you're using, right? What are they doing with that information? One of my favorites, besides Bobby Tables, this is one of my favorites here. If people know who Bobby Tables is, but that's a good one. So this is a good, basically a comic here. It says, I've been putting all my stuff in Chad's garage. He has nice shelves. And what's cool is he lets me come in and see it whatever I want. But I just got this note for him. Hey, in a month I'm going to Craigslist all the shit you left in my garage. Just letting you know, Chad, right? Well, this guy gets pissed off, calls his buddy, and says, this is an outrage. There's no way to run a storage business. And his friend says, are you paying him to look after your stuff? No. Well, then what he runs is in a storage business. Well, I'm this close to not giving in any more of my stuff. Well, that'll teach you better. So all of your documents that you're not paying to put out there, right? All of your photos, all of anything that you upload that has additional metadata attached to it. That is your favorite buzzword, but any other information that you're putting out there, right? They're going to use it. They're going to use it how they want to use it. So before you look at, say, yes, all of this bad stuff is happening. Sure it is, and I think it sucks because I personally think privacy is important. It's something that I value. But what are you giving? What are your children giving? What are your nieces, nephews, cousins, etc.? What are people giving out for free? So anybody who does any kind of pen testing in here at all, or has been through any kind of security class for ethical hacking or pen testing, etc., knows that step one is what? What's step one? It's your information gathering, your reconnaissance, right? And a little, exactly what Andrew was talking about earlier. So we look at like a lighting hand test. Step one, right? I'm going to gather as much information as I can from you or your company. Now, what if I wanted to do identity theft? What if the target wasn't your business, but what if the target was you? What if I wanted to hack you as a person, hack your privacy? All of this information is out there. People are using social media. What if I'm taking the easiest targets, people who put the most stuff out there in my geographic location? Holistically, if you're using a lot of different feeds, there's a lot of different areas that you can take data from, and this gets into the discussion of geolocation. So, working at Qualys, I get to interact with a lot of cool people. I go to some cool cyber security conferences. I work with a lot of great developers. If anyone out there has ever heard of a company, called TrustWave or Breach or anything like that, I work with people, who wrote a lot of those systems. I work with a lot of people who design a lot of the security, even some of the security protocols, PCI compliance version 1, OWASP. These guys who are on the board for OWASP, who've done a development for OWASP. So I meet a lot of people through networking, and not just my love for security. But I've stumbled upon two people who I had some very interesting conversations with. And to get back to what we're talking about here, it's a gentleman named Karl Swannie and James Fernandez. I don't know if anybody here has ever heard of Karl Swannie or James Fernandez. They are actually Canadian, and they got their start in two areas, really. One of them was doing consulting for Canadian military, pseudo-military operations, and the other person was professional mapping and cartography. Well, they got together. Here's the two gentlemen right here, Karl Swannie on the left, James Fernandez on the right. And Clover Point is the cartography service that they use. And EchoSec is something that Karl started, and James did a lot of the coding for it. And what they said is, let's put all of this stuff together. Let's put our social media, let's put all of these different APIs that are available, right? There's 110 or 120 publicly available APIs, okay? So for social media type of applications, whether it's taking data off of Flickr or metadata off of a photograph, or obviously Twitter and Facebook and things like that, Foursquare. Let's take all of this and let's put it into our Clover Point, into our cartography software and stuff that we're doing. So they developed a product called EchoSec. And has anybody in here heard of EchoSec before today? Just Tim. All right. So I'm going to just jump over here to real quick to I guess it's as good as it's going to get for a display. But so let me show you here what you have is a map. It's a map of San Francisco, Oakland, further down. My corporate headquarters, Redwood City, down just south of San Francisco here. So we have a map like this, and we say, okay, this is great. It's a map. But let's do this, right? Let's minimize this a little bit, or a lot. Wait. Connected to a really fast internet here, so demos don't always work as they're supposed to, right? Or let's jump to location. Let's just do that. If anyone here has a fast internet connection, this is really instant. It's only slow for my demo, of course. So you can take this map, and this is EchoSec, and you can pretty much anywhere in the world, you can take this map and you can move it around, you can make it smaller, bigger, whatever. And what we're going to do is we're going to just come down here onto the peninsula at Charleston. We're going to try to get right over our area here. It's taking its time, but so I'm on a limited time basis here. So let me select an area, right? So I'm going to take this area here. I'm going to come out here with the box for the selection. Okay, I'm going to let it go. So what you get here is you get all of these different social media posts with location information directly on the area you select. Now I just did this because of speed and this thing's still refreshing, but you can get down to 1 square block. You can get down to 1 block, you can get to 1 house. You can select 1 house, 1 building, 1 business, etc. And you can pull all of the social media content out of that building, every picture that's been posted on the internet, and they're loading here, from everybody's public account within that area that you select. Now, what if we were to take the information that was given out earlier for IP blocks and plug it into this map? What if we were to take a map and select it and take all of that information and say, here's our IP blocks for this block, find them. And then what if we had another widget or a plugin on the side that runs an Nmap, real time? So you select an area, you select a block, you select whatever you want, and you can run, let's say, a live Nmap, right from a specific location. Now, what can you draw from this, right? I was in a corporate location not too long ago where I was talking to a fellow and showing him a little bit about what I was going to present on. And we actually highlighted the corporate office for where we were sitting in and found internal pictures of the building and pictures of the bathroom, believe it or not, and someone who was there for an interview, taking pictures of themselves in the mirror in the corporate bathroom. But interesting. But that stuff is available here, right? So let's look at it a little differently. All right. Now, I'm not only gathering information. The disturbing part about this is that I did this for where my daughter goes to elementary school. One of my daughters is in 2nd grade, so I put it just over her elementary school. That's it. I didn't go any further. I got tons of pictures of inside the school. I got names of students. I'm talking little kids. No, I didn't find my own daughter, but I saw 3 of her friends. I found all of that information. I went over one of the cul-de-sacs where I live. Pictures of the ice cream truck, pictures of the people with their names going up to the ice cream truck, pictures of their vehicles, pictures of their license plate, picture, anything that you could want. Again, I apologize for the speed of this, but if you can look at all the different APIs that are feeding back here, for that specific location, if I had a faster internet connection, I would most definitely go down to a block radius or maybe just over the Tate Center here, and you could see with accuracy tweets or social media that's been coming out of this building with time codes, stamps, etc. You could actually target one person, you could target one area, and you can use this. And again, this is EchoSec. So this is just the tip of the iceberg. People are using this. How many people here do anything with the military? Anyone here have security clearances? Are you allowed to tweet pictures of your base? Can you do that? Does anyone here have an SCI clearance? Okay. Are you allowed to tweet pictures of what you're working on or your base or things like that out to social media? No. But use this and you'll find out that people are. So Karl actually works with different military bases. So we have people who are violating security clearances, not saying you are, Violating security clearances. Put this over Fort Jackson, put this over Shaw, put this over Spaywar, put this anywhere you want. And you're going to find violations. You're going to find stuff that might even be classified that's getting posted out there. So we're not talking about just one specific attack vector. We're not talking about stalking somebody. We're talking about something much more serious. There could be definitely more consequences. And again, I apologize for the speed of the internet, but as you can see, there's plenty of Charleston pictures and posts and timestamps and people's names, and you can follow these people. You know who they are, where they are, when they're posting. And again, don't look at the whole peninsula. You can put this down to your neighborhood. When you get home, try it. Your neighborhood. It's a paid service for 120 APIs. This is a free service for 5. And this is something that's just developed. And again, this is Karl and James. Just developed, and I'd love to tie it into some geolocation for public IP blocks and some other locations.
What's the cost of space?
Don't know, not my product. This is free. I work with these guys through some collaboration and doing some other things on the web app side of things, but that's pretty much where we started. So my talk yesterday was, I actually ended up changing it. So today, this is where I was going to stop and maybe discuss a little bit here. But there's a gentleman who I think is doing some things, and I know I'm running real short on time here, so I'm going to fly through the next couple slides, and I apologize. Yeah, I have plenty. I have so much stuff here to go through. So, let me see, did I skip a slide? All right. So, if anyone here is familiar with any work that Texas Tech does in their cybersecurity programs, probably similar to a lot of other cybersecurity programs. Well, there's a student there named Jordan Wright. I don't know if anyone's ever looked at any of Jordan Wright's stuff on GitHub or anything like that. So Jordan, his focus is OSINT, right? So open source intelligence using APIs. And I followed a few of his blogs before, and I recently ended up having a conversation with him on something that he reverse engineered, a public plugin for Chrome. Has anyone ever heard of Reportive? It's a plugin for Gmail or for Chrome. All right, so he reverse engineered that and basically was able to get whatever he wanted out of it. And well, I'll show you. So it goes beyond just the map and geolocation, right? Here's Jordan, and we're at B-Sides, so let's bring a little bit of Python code into it, right? So that's pretty much what we do. And I'll bring up his pages real quick, and luckily they're already loaded, so we don't have to wait for a slow internet connection. So Jordan goes a little step, he goes further, right? He says, okay, we're not going to, the mapping part of my talk we'll come back to, but for right now, he's using these APIs, and this is RaiderSec. If anyone has a chance to take a look at RaiderSec, he's saying, I have all of these publicly available APIs. What can I do with them, right? So that's exactly how Karl and James get their information from public APIs. So this is taking a look at these public APIs and manipulating the requests and saying, what can I do? I can attack your whole company, pulling social media information right from the APIs. I can scrape every email address, every employee, everybody's LinkedIn profile, and I can put all of this information into recon. And again, that's just step one of anybody's pen test. So I'll send out these links later if anyone wants to read them, but this is a little bit of what he's doing. I want to skip ahead again, and this is where he reverse engineered Reportive. And if you're familiar with what Reportive does, you could basically take Reportive, reverse engineer it here using public code that Jordan wrote, and you could basically have a social engineering attack put together. Okay? He can automatically log in, grab credentials, take any information he needs using Python that he's posted, okay, through Google's OpenID, right, and put this information out there as well. Now, if we take what Jordan's doing with Reportive and RaiderSec, take what Andrew talked about earlier, take about what these guys are doing with EchoSec and these APIs. It all comes back to one thing, right? Evan mentioned this earlier with Google, using Splunk and using some other things. There's so many different ways that we could use the data in these APIs for attacks. They're all different kind of attacks. You know, anything from military attacks to petty crime to stalking to etc. Right? I mean, it's all that way. But one thing that I want to bring up that in my conversations with James and Karl is that it's not all negative. So there's a lot of positive that can come from this as well, right? And it's not just marketing. It's not just, you know, if we look at all the bad that can come with it, right? So all of this information being out there and available with your location all the time. You're going to get caught calling out sick, yes. You're going to get caught doing what you're not supposed to be doing. You're going to get caught for fraud if you ever commit it. So you can use this for social engineering, hacking, mugging, kidnapping, stalking, identity theft, fraud, robbery, murder, pedophilia, rape, marketing, whatever. This is the bad, right? This is the terrible things that you can do with this information. Some of it. But it's not all bad, because the good things that come out of this is military use of security clearance checks, anti-crime, anti-gang, DEA, solving crimes. Now, what about this? Okay, so we recently had an instance at LAX. Everyone familiar with what happened to LAX the other day?
Yeah.
So immediately, using that EchoSec program, they put out a tweet and said, click this link on their Twitter, on EchoSec's Twitter. Click this link. You click the link, and it goes directly to every social media feed, and they opened up their paid APIs for this link. And they gave you a real-time analysis of every single thing that was happening at LAX from everybody who was in there, who was tweeting, texting, doing any kind of pictures where there's a public API available. So you had real-life scenarios, you had investigations, you had people, you had law enforcement, you had FBI, etc., looking at this publicly available information. I want to see something that happened 5 miles away from LAX, 15 minutes before. Where was this guy? Well, let's see who is in the area. A friend, a daughter, a wife, somebody you know gets mugged, someone you know gets assaulted somewhere, gets in a fight somewhere, car broken into, etc. You're looking for witnesses. This is an incredible tool to use. So I think everybody knows all the bad things that they can do. But there's some great tools and things that we can use this for positively. Wouldn't you want to know if your husband, wife, brother, sister, daughter was hurt and there was someone in the area that was tweeting about, just stubbed my toe today and my boots look great, but just happened to be in that area 5 minutes before it happened or a minute before it happened, and may have caught something on the photo or may have seen someone walk by them or been a witness to it. So
What's the timeline on it?
on what?
Is it, how do you go back in time, or?
Yeah, so on the paid versions, you have specified time windows, and you can have different kind of windows as far as, okay, I'll archive this for 15 minutes, I'll archive it for 30 days. Obviously, it depends on the size of area you pick, right? It's only so much data. On the free stuff, that stuff cycles fairly quickly. If you, like an area like Charleston, I've seen, a week, 2 weeks, you can even get a month, maybe even more than a month go by, and with certain stuff that's still out there. If there's, if you select a large area, obviously the free stuff, they're not going to let you.
Just think from the perspective of an investigator working a cold case or something.
I'm not positive on that, but what I've been told from Karl is that they do archive. So just like anything else, the archive formats and information, the LAX, they're actually I don't know for a fact, but I think they're working an angle with the law enforcement for the LAX incident. Basically, really looking at half from prior, not really what went down. There's enough cameras and witnesses. It was things that happened before that. So, to sum this up in my last 2 minutes here, what does this all mean? In my opinion, privacy in any definition is going to remain a battleground. It's going to be privacy good and privacy bad, right? Double-edged sword, no matter how you look at it. I like my privacy, but it's going to get harder as we go on. Our jobs, pen testers, etc., will get a boost. You get a little bit of help in phase 1. You're definitely going to, you know, if you want to wage cyber bad stuff on a particular area, you're going to have a lot more information to go on. You can use what I talked about in combination with what you talked about, put it all together. If we can somehow get everybody working together, you know, there's a lot of different possibilities here. Obviously, increased opportunities for crime and crime fighting. Huge opportunity for APIs, OSINT via APIs, in my opinion, is a huge way to go as far as expanding at this point. Opportunities for awareness and education. Children, students, etc. We have to continue to educate them on this privacy. We have to go back to Chad's garage and say, you went down the street and threw all your stuff in someone's room and you're pissed off because it's gone, or because they took ownership of it. So a lot of opportunity for awareness and education. Social media is probably not going anywhere. I don't think it's going anywhere. I personally have mixed feelings about it, but it exists out there, and it's a way to communicate. And I'm sure there's a lot of things that I'm missing. So I'll be more than happy, and I'll be at the Paulus table to talk or discuss anything, and I'm going to sit through most of the rest of the talks for today. And the last slide here is a couple of good Dilberts for the questions. You can read these. I hope you can read it from where you are, but you know, a little bit of entertainment for you as I finish up. And then finally, if anyone gets to read my 3 Dilberts up here, this is my contact information. I'm on Twitter, IRC, mostly Freenode channels, etc. A couple of my handles are on there. I'm in the area. I'm local. I'm from South Carolina, so feel free to reach out, call, contact, email, etc. Yes, I'm putting this out on the internet over a live stream. It is what it is. Yeah. So we'll conclude with that, and if anyone has any other questions, please let me know.